I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. And sorry to tell anyone that's got their home on the market or is preparing their home for the market. I really feel that there is a hell of a lot of uncertainty generally in the world at the moment, and that is feeding into markets. We are seeing buyers being the most apprehensive that we've seen them for a long time, not wanting to act.
The Real Estate Forum podcast is back for another week. We actually weren't here last week because Brennan was being slacking off in Bali. Buddy, good to see you back and good to see you alive.
Thanks, mate.
You're not tanned. I thought you'd be more
No,
tanned.
I'm a little bit tanned.
Nah,
Look,
you're
it's
white.
hidden. That's a bit tan.
That's
Has
not,
to
you're
be.
white.
Has to be.
You're as white. And we've just come out of summer as well. What have you been doing?
Yeah, I've been working. I've been in the office. Actually, I've had 4 holidays since December.
I know, you're so slack. You
Crazy.
can't be saying you've been working
I know.
and in the office because you've been just slacking around. In fact, I think you've been to Bali twice this year.
November and now, yeah. I'm over it though.
What do you mean? Because you got sick?
Yeah, so I love
Bali?
No, I wasn't even like. I just felt like exhausted, man. My body just felt like it was
Too
about
many
to shut
holidays.
down.
Yeah.
Nah,
Contagious, bro.
I only drank twice too. So usually you can pinpoint something. Oh, you've been drinking for 5 days, but I drank twice and then I just felt like crap. But not complaining. Like I still relaxed heaps. Kyla was crook as the day we got back. Like I'm so. I won't go into details, but far out.
Go into details.
No, she was in bed like stomach cramps, like just real
Both ends?
upset. Yeah, no, not this end. But yeah, she was really crook. But overall, good holiday. I think I work so much better when I go on holidays, man. When I come back,
Why?
I just want to work. Like you,
So tell me, when you go away on a holiday, how do you operate your business? Because obviously, like your owners are like, "Yo, Brent, are you there? What are you doing?" kind of thing.
yeah, I think that I always told them like Kyla. I don't want to throw her under the bus too much here, but like she's scared to tell
Throw
them.
her.
She's scared to tell her clients like she's going on holidays.
Yeah, I
I'm
get
like,
that. I get that.
Do you do that as well?
Well, look, for many years, yeah, I was
Yeah.
really nervous. If I'm going away for a week, I'm not telling them. If
Yeah.
I'm going for 2 or more, like I do now, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I would just try to make it up that I was still there and able to like help
Yeah.
with their needs, and I'd answer their calls but now I do. But for 10 plus years, I was too nervous to tell them.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit different. Like I make sure that they've been told, and if they're coming to the market as well, I
They get
always-
angry that you're gone.
Nah, they don't voice it to me. Maybe they do. I don't know. But no, they're all pretty good, and I do communicate with them when I'm over there, and you know when I get back, I'm very on the ball like with them.
Yeah.
And it's 7 days. Like if you think about 7 days, dude, like 7 days ago, you know, it goes by like a click of a fingers these days.
Nah, 7 days is good. And it's almost like, I think 1 week or 2 weeks is your ideal time for a real estate agent to have a holiday, but you don't also get to switch off.
Yeah.
Like, do you find that you switched off?
Nah, like it's good. I just forgot about to do something today, so I'll write that down quickly. But I do.
Brent has an ADHD kind of mind. So he's like
I do.
unaware.
I do switch off pretty easily, and like when I'm away from Melbourne, I can switch off. When
Yeah.
I'm in at home in Melbourne, I can't really switch off like ever. I'm just always on the phone, and I feel bad for like
Yeah.
not replying. And tradies and stuff, man, I don't know how they get away with the stuff they do. If I had a tradie yesterday for a client, didn't rock up. He said he was stuck in traffic. He'll be there in an hour. Never rocked up. Today he was supposed to rock up. He was at Bunnings and then he was coming over. Still hasn't rocked up. But dude, if I don't reply to someone for 5 minutes, like it feels like we're under a lot of pressure. Do you think we put that on ourselves though, because we give them such a high level of service?
Yeah, indeed. And our guest that we've got on today is probably going to be really good at helping with this because she's a mum, right? And so
Yeah.
you talk about pressures. There's pressures that you have at the moment being a guy that lists and sell. But then what about the home pressures that we don't really have to feel about that because we don't have the home pressures as much.
Yeah.
So looking forward to hearing what the mums of the world in real estate
Yeah.
have to say about that kind of thing because there's a whole new level of pressure.
Yeah.
That we got to dig down into. But it's been a crazy fortnight, man. Like wild. Obviously, Donald Trump just goes ahead and says, we're joining with Israel. We're going to smash Iran, starts blowing bombs into Iran.
Yeah.
They start retaliating. That Strait, which is equating to 20% of the oil production, just slows up. So what happens? Fuel prices go through the roof. Michelle Bullock then responds a week later and says, stuff, yeah, interest rates are going up. And she mentioned the R word. Brent, which is what?
Recession?
Recession. Oh my gosh.
Got
We
it.
could be going to a recession. I'm proud of you, actually.
Yeah, I'm like, oh God, what is it?
What's the R word?
I could have said
I know the
another.
F word and the C word and the other F word.
Yeah, I could have said another one, but we probably would have got banned.
No, we'll get cancelled. I know exactly what you're thinking.
Yeah.
And then property-wise,
Yep.
what does that mean? What does that mean? Interest rates have gone up for the second time in 2 months.
Yeah, I get a lot of people are very like anxious and scared, and like I had said a couple of times today in passing conversations with clients who have bought off me or haven't bought off me, or buyers and people who are selling with me, and they're like, oh yeah, like very uneasy times and stuff. And I just said back to them, I said, is it really? Like I don't watch the news, and I don't really I watch what I intake to my mind, because it is, bro. If you actually do a 24-hour like research into what you've actually watched and what you've listened to, it affects your mind, man. Like no news, best thing ever. I don't even know fuel prices are up. I got home. I always said on socials a little bit, but I got home. I filled up my car yesterday for like $50. I was like, I got like maybe a quarter tank, and that's when I realized. But block out the noise and rock up to work, and that's what you can control.
I'm the exact opposite. I get the newspaper delivered to my house
Yeah.
every morning, The Age and the Herald Sun, so I get balanced opinions. I read it front to back.
But that means you've got a strong mind though, because you can make your own balance decisions.
Yeah, I love that. So on Instagram, for example, I follow, like, I'm not a voter of the Greens, but I follow a lot of accounts from the Greens because I want to have a balanced idea, and I get myself quite and then I follow Craig Hollowell. You see his posts sometimes and he's just sparking shit on Facebook. Oh my gosh. Anyway, let's go through the sponsors, because I've got something to tell you as well, Brenner.
You got something you're surprised?
No, it's very, very boring, but it's just quite quirky.
Okay, cool. So our sponsors, as always, we've got Sharon from Style with Us Property. Awesome little brochure here. She's been very busy lately, I have seen. We have Jade from 11 Financial. She's just done an awesome rebrand as well. And I've had a few clients say that they've reached out to her off the back of the podcast too, which is absolutely awesome. We have Douglas from Adaptive Fire and Electrical. And then we have Greg from Apollo Auctions, which I believe we're going to have him on the show today as well. Anyone else we got? No,
that's good. I think it's us right at the moment.
Beautiful.
Craig's been banging on about a new sponsor, but it hasn't come on.
Yeah.
I lost a listing today.
Well done.
Thanks. I lose plenty.
Bro, same.
I'm a very professional listing loser.
Same.
And he sent me a very polite email.
To Amanda? Did you lose it to Amanda?
Nah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know who it was to. It was in Beaconsfield, so I'm not so sure. Probably not.
Yeah.
I lost it because of a typo.
No way.
A typo.
Bro, how bad?
And it was, we have a how to prepare your house for photography sheet.
Yeah.
And it just has a bunch of information on like what to do, like put your bins out, make sure they're hidden, take magnets off the fridge, that kind of thing. I had the word magnets and the wrong way around. So I had make sure you put magnets away off the fridge. And he actually emailed me and said, Gavin, it was really close. In the end, it just came down to a typo that you had on the how to prepare your house for photography. I'm like, of all the ways.
Surely he's been a smart ass man.
Well, no, because he's in his 70s and he's a very serious kind of guy. So that's probably one of the weirdest ways I've lost a listing.
What kind of house was it? How much?
Just a terrace.
Did we talk a couple mil?
Nah, 700,000-800,000.
Typo. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah. What's the weirdest way you've lost a listing? What's the weirdest thing you've done to lose one?
Oh, dude, I don't know. Like I off the top of my head, I don't know. But I'll think about it on our break anyway. But I have been losing a few listings too, which is good.
To Amanda?
No, I don't think
to
so.
Me?
I don't. Nah, I've been losing a lot, but we've been listing a lot more, which I said the other week. So
yeah.
Good. Like you, man. Like you list what 200-300 a year.
Yeah, no, but I lose a lot too.
That's same.
I'll lose 400 in a year.
Yeah, it's great. It's crazy, bro.
It's mental.
And I'm just be Teflon. That's what I say to Kyla. Kyla gets upset about it. I said, be Teflon. Who cares?
Wow, what's Teflon?
It's hard. Just the water goes on you. Just let it drip off and
Teflon.
Move on with your life.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, I want to hear what
Don't
your
worry
weirdest
about it.
thing was to lose a listing. But yeah, a typo where 2 words were around the wrong way. And that's enough for me to lose a $12,000 commission check.
Yeah, wow. Well, I'm going to think about it. And in the meantime, we're going to throw to Greg from Apollo Auctions.
Greg is with us from Apollo Auctions. And when he say with us, he's not actually with us, but he's on a Zoom link. Nice to see you, Greggy.
Virtually here, which is better than being in an airport lounge, which, funnily enough, I was going to be yesterday. So good
Very
to be
cool.
with you.
And now, where did Apollo come from? Apollo Auctions. Is it anything to do with the space shuttle to the moon?
Ish. The gentleman who founded it, who is still our founder and director, Justin Nickerson, realized that calling it Nickerson and Co auctions or Justin and Co or something like that, nobody ever wants to be the co in
Yeah.
a something and co company. And so if you're trying to build a collective, build a team, sometimes it's about going a little bit left of center. So that's what Apollo is.
So where did Apollo come from, though? Is it because of that 1960s space mission?
I don't think so. And that was in 1969, funnily enough. I learned some about that 2 days ago over in New Zealand about the moon landing. No, I think it was something to do with being at the pinnacle, so being at the top, launching, all of those sort of things. There's
Okay.
lots of magical ways that it could be weaved in, and something not to do with real estate, because obviously houses, safe as houses, under the hammer. There's so many auction companies that are about real estate that it was something a little bit different.
I agree with the and co, though. You don't want to be the co. You could be the sons. I reckon if Brent was to open up a company, it could be good. Day and Sons.
Steindl and Sons.
Day and Sons sounds better. Steindl,
Yeah.
you can't even say the bloody name.
Steindl.
Brent.
Steindl Day and Sons. There you go. Steindl Day and Sons.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. Now, that's an idea.
Ditch the yellow.
Now, mate, stuff the yellow. What are we doing? What's happened? The last 2 weeks has been one of the most tumultuous few weeks for markets, stock markets, global social politics. What's going on?
I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. And sorry to tell anyone that's got their home on the market or is preparing their home for the market. I really feel that there is a hell of a lot of uncertainty generally in the world at the moment, and that is feeding into markets. We are seeing buyers being the most apprehensive that we've seen them for a long time, not wanting to act. And sellers also being in that zone as well. It's this weird sort of tussle between FOMO and FOBO, so fear of missing out and fear of a better option. Clearance rates have also taken a bit of a hit.
Yeah, so what's going on in the auction world? And is this a national thing or is it just Victoria? Because Victoria always seems to wear the brunt of everything.
It's very much nationally. The clearance rates are sitting sub 60%, which is sort of our marker for success that we look for.
Yep.
And that's nationally. Victoria was 54%. The last week, the weekend just gone, was 57%. So, and at this time of year in March, we would expect those to be closer to the sort of early 70% is somewhere that's reasonably healthy. Throw in interest rate rises, fuel shortages, cost of living, unemployment going up. Yeah, it's a bit of a cluster at the moment, that's for sure.
What cluster? What? Nah. What are your thoughts on the
cluster? What? Yes, correct.
What are your thoughts on the auction you've got coming up tonight? Any interest?
So this is actually an interesting case study. It's been on the market now for 111 days. But it is a side-by-side townhouse in Bentley East, not in the McKinnon School Zone, which is the preferred area, but still in a very good spot in Bentley East. The home next door sold 4 months ago in November for $1,845,000. We currently have this one on the market, which technically is bigger and technically is better because it has 2 street frontages at 1.7 to 1.775 and don't have any registered bidders.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Imagine being the new owner from next door and attending that auction.
Yeah.
So, isn't that funny? That's exactly what I said to the owner tonight, because he was like, Greg, where do we set the reserve? And I said, well, let's see what happens. We've got some interest at sort of that 1.7 mark. And I said, I guarantee you who the most unhappy person is going to be tonight, not you as the owner, but the person that paid 1.845 4 months ago for an inferior property.
Yeah, wow.
So from a qualitative perspective, what are you hearing on the streets from the buyers that's standing out to you right now?
Well, it's really interesting because I had 7 auctions last weekend and there was one on Thursday night, so call that, well, it was 7 in totality. I went 5 from 7, so that would indicate a good market for me personally. But in that range, anything north of $1 million is really starting to take a hit. The first home buyers have sort of factored this in, it seems, but if people are trading homes, so upsizing or downsizing, they're feeling the effects on both sides. If you're in an upsizing market, it's actually the best time to upsize, because if the larger property, the higher price point property has taken a 10% hit, and you've taken a 10% hit on your smaller, less expensive property, you're going to be ahead. But people just don't want to make the wrong move. They'd rather make no move than make the wrong move.
It's such a good point, and we've had that conversation. I feel like it's the third, fourth time I've said that exact same thing that you've just said in 3 to 4 different market cycles. And we've got a couple now that are subject to sale, which the sales are probably maybe a 30-40% chance of going through, but the buyers are still interested in buying it. But because they've had to drop their sale price on the subject to sale side, they now want to renegotiate with our vendors that they've had paid a price up here. But a couple of the vendors at the moment, they're thinking, oh, well, I'm not going to drop my price. When at the end of the day, like if the buyer's willing to drop theirs, you should drop yours a little bit. It's because it's still going to be a good price if you go back to the market. So it's very interesting times.
Buyers and sellers play into a magical thing that we all have called ego, which is you set out, or you've talked to your family, you've talked to your friends, you've talked to the broker, you've given them a price of what you think it's worth. The smart people that are commercially viable look at changeover, not sale price and purchase price. And I think as a marketplace, if we can actually educate people better to look at changeover rather than static prices to achieve, we're going to get a hell of a lot more transactions and a hell of a lot more traction with buyers and sellers.
Last question from me, Bud, is you said things will get worse before they get better. What does that look like for you when it gets worse?
I do think volume of auctions will drop. I think there's also layer in the added uncertainty of the state government. And Brent, I found your post amusing around the buyer, the building and pest inspections from Jacinta Allen the other day. We, as the REIV and the auctions chapter, provided a suite of recommendations, 12 recommendations in total, which was called the Blueprint for Success. Out of that, they've so far talked about implementing 2 of those, which is building and pest inspections in the contract of sale and the sales prices being disclosed. The 2 easiest ones that for the government to say, oh, we'll make it somebody else's problem. The other 10 that we've recommended that actually require some legwork from them, they haven't commented on yet. But what's looking worse before it gets better is I think there's going to be some hurt out there. It may be the first time in a long time that people that purchased 3 to 5 years ago are having to sell for less than what they purchased for. It's happened in New Zealand. It's happened in Auckland. It has happened in apartments here, but it hasn't really happened in homes before. And I think that may be the case. People are petrified that they're going to lose their jobs to AI. It's just a really uncertain time in the world.
What going back to what you said then, what are your thoughts? Did you agree or disagree with what I said about the building and pest stuff?
There's always going to be distrust with anything that a vendor provides. My concern, I think the positive around it is 70 to 80% of a marketplace don't actually understand that they have issues with their homes. They're not aware before they go to market. And I look at it as a holistic view that if a vendor has to get a building and pest inspection before selling, 70 to 80% of them will go and fix the problems that are raised in that report and or price the home accordingly based off it.
So in other words, you talk shit, Brent. He doesn't agree with you at all.
No. I
No.
I agree with what Greg's saying because it's true, but I don't think that law actually fixes that problem as well. Like the vendor, it's more for a buyer, but it actually helps the vendor. That is what you're saying as well.
It helps. Yeah, it helps the vendor. But what the buyer will do is, I think some information is better than no information. A lot of buyers, and I've spoken with a number of building inspectors. I actually looked at, funnily enough, getting into that space based off some inside information around knowing that was coming. Don't tell anyone that. I hope that doesn't go anywhere. But I knew that this was coming. We'd had this discussion. Building inspectors are looking at bringing in partial reports, which would be if there was a certain area identified in the vendor's version of the building and pest inspection report, they could go and get a building and pest inspector of their own to go and inspect just a certain portion of the home. To make it more cost equitable for them moving forward. The interesting part is, and again, this wasn't explained, is that the building and pest inspection warranty would transfer from the vendor that's paid for it to the owner that purchases the home, and therefore it protects them. So you are actually buying a report that has to have proper information in it because the warranty is also being transferred to that purchaser.
Oh, that's good. I didn't realize that.
Neither did I.
Yep.
We're gonna move on, Greggy.
As long as the buyer pays for it in the end, so they've got to pay for it at settlement.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna let you go because you got to get to an auction. Brenna's got to get to an inspection. Greggy, thanks for joining us. Good luck tonight. Let us know. Put us in that little chat as to how it goes with the auction. Really keen to see the neighbours' expression.
I think I will be speaking to myself for about 10 minutes.
Can we give him a word?
Let's see how we go.
Let's text him a word to put in there.
Yes, actually, yeah. So word of the day today, according to dictionary.com, is J June. J June. So it's Jejune, J June. It means something that's uninteresting or boring.
Good luck, bro.
Is that your middle name as
Jejune,
well?
J June. Yes, my middle name, Gavin J June Steindl.
Good luck, brother.
Yeah. See you guys. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Bye. All right, welcome back to the Real Estate Forum podcast. Today we're joined by none other than Amanda Claridge from Harcourts in Pakenham, who works alongside our previous guest, Tane, I believe. So Amanda is a well-respected agent in the Pakenham marketplace, delivering strong results and building genuine relationships with her clients. What makes Amanda's story even more powerful is her journey through real estate through COVID times as she got into the industry in 2019, which I'm sure would have been a very tough time because 2018 was a Royal Commission in banking, and that's the worst time I've had in real estate as well. So today we're going to find out what it takes to really succeed, and especially being a female in a male-dominated industry as well, which is changing a lot. I say that, but the number one agent in Victoria is actually a female. So it is changing a lot, and it's really, really good to see. So Amanda, take us back to 2019. Before that, you were in HR. Why'd you wake up one day and want to get into real estate?
Well, funnily enough, I actually bought my first home in the Banking Royal Commission.
Oh, wow, 2018.
Yeah, so bought my
At the
first
start of it or at the end of it?
May 2019.
Oh, so you got it for a bargain.
Yeah, 100% I did. Yeah. Absolutely. So, and then obviously bought my home, and then I was at my job at HR looking at Seek to get some inspo, and I saw this job advert and I thought, oh yeah, I'll give it a crack. And shocking resume, literally just a Word document, didn't even PDF it or anything. If someone sent that to me, I wouldn't even give them a second thought. Do you know what I mean? And next minute they're calling me wanting to speak to me, and yeah.
Then what 7 years later, you're still here as well.
I am, yes.
The thing about real estate, man, would you know more? What is the dropout rate for real estate in 2 years?
In the first 2 years?
Yeah.
It's just shy of 80%.
80%. So
yeah.
80, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, so I started November 2019, and then March 2020, just 3 months later, everything changed. And I hadn't even had my house for a year, and I thought, what the hell have I done? Like, I absolutely thought I'd made the worst choice of my life.
And I'm sure you would have had a pay decrease going from HR into real estate, and then buying a new house as well. There would have been pressure from that.
Yeah, there was
So why'd
so
you
much
do
pressure.
it? That's crazy.
I know. You think about it. Hey, I just thought I could, going through the buying process, and I thought, oh, surely it can't be that hard.
Yeah.
It really isn't, is it?
You're such a buyer.
Yeah, I know. And I look at buyers now, how I treated agents and never called them back and anything like that. I'm like, God, I used to bug people so much by not answering their calls.
Yeah. But you understand it now.
I do understand it now. I do.
So
I do.
there would have been a lot of trepidation moving into this role in real estate because of that pay decrease, and you would have had your daughter still living at home?
She, at the time, was 19 going on 20, so she was at full-time dance. She was doing her own thing, but obviously because she was a student, I had to support her too. And being a single parent, so I raised her on my own. And it was the first house I bought at 40.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
So, all right, so let me just recap. Buying your first house in your 40s, single mum, mind you, with a daughter who I guess is independent to some degree, but then even more dependent in other regards, and going into a job that you've never done before with a pay cut. How and why did you do that?
I just thought I needed, at the time, obviously she was getting to where she was, and I thought, oh, give this a go, do something for me for a change. Like, I'd raised her on my own. Like, she was as any parent, you would know it yourself, Gav, like your kids come first. And obviously being a single parent, my life's revolved around her. So I thought this could be something I could give it a crack and see how we go.
And how did you handle those first few months / year before COVID, where you're looking after your daughter, working in this environment? How did you find real estate, and what kept you going in this industry?
Just the chase, I think, and to prove
The chase. It's like at university when you're going out with the girl when you're 21 years old and then she rejected you. You had to keep going back. Sorry.
I get it.
I had the opposite way around, mate.
Oh, yeah, get stuffed.
Obviously, having my child quite young, a lot of people said, oh, your life's going to be over. And obviously, you're going to have nothing. You're going to eventuate to nothing. And that haunted me for so long. And I thought, well, here we go. So it was kind of, and then obviously COVID hit and it was do or die. Because it was kind of like, look, fix this and do something or lose your house.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? What do you think is like the most challenging part of your career that you've experienced in the last 7 years?
Oh, that's a good question. There's been a lot of challenges. I've had a lot of ups and downs. Gav, obviously, we work in the same area.
Yeah.
I've had times where I was ready to give up. I've actually wanted to give up. Really lowest of lows, quite depressing. Yeah, in a depressive state, 100%. Really depressive, isolated.
Yeah.
People didn't want to talk to me. At one stage, my daughter hated me because it was all about work.
Yeah.
And I got into this spiral where it was just unhealthy. And obviously, I hit rock bottom.
Do you think?
When was this? And are you past it now? And are you okay to talk about it?
Yeah, I love actually talking about it because I think it's so important to talk about mental health, and people, shy away from that. But I'm proud to tell my story because I can show people that you can come out the other end and still be successful. Like I was wearing a mask, like probably for about a good 3 or 4 years that I was just existing. I wasn't living.
Yeah. What led you to hit rock bottom?
I think pressure on myself, pressure in the workplace environments, just a whole multitude of things.
So Brent talked about pressure and like going away on a holiday and Kyla obviously not wanting to disclose that she's away. Is that something that you felt as well?
100%. I didn't have a holiday. My first holiday was literally this time 2 years ago. Since I started real estate.
5 years.
And then what did you do to get out of that funk? Obviously, I think a lot of agents go through that where they feel like they want to give up or they're not good enough or whatever it might be. You lose a string of listings. Brent and I have talked about this on the podcast where you lose like back to back and you're like, am I just a fake? Am I a phony? Am I not good enough to be in this industry? What did you do to get out of that funk?
I just kept going until it got too much and I had to... Something just clicked. My granddaughter had recently been born. She was probably about 6-8 months old, and I thought, she can't have Mimi being like this. This is ridiculous. Just stop. And then it was a case of I just walked out of the agency that I was with, and that was about nearly 2 years ago.
And did that leaving that? I don't even have a clue who you're talking about, but leaving that previous company, did that fix what was wrong in your life?
No.
Or was it more
I'm still, to this day, I'm so grateful for the chance that they gave me. It's changed my whole life. Like, you look back 7 years and think I'd have the lifestyle that I've got now. Like, it's insane, and I'm so grateful, and I feel so blessed that, and you guys will probably get that too, where you think, holy shit, like, people are giving us their biggest asset. We're changing their lives. Like, how lucky are we? And that's, and that's the way I look at it now. It's just, I'm so lucky and everything I'm so grateful for.
Yeah.
So what was your question again?
Did the previous, like leaving that previous company, when you've come to Harcourts now, did that kind of fix your depressive state or being rock bottom? So what did you do to get back into a better place?
A lot of support from, work, external factors, a lot of work on myself as well. So probably I would say genuinely the last 8 months has been best 8 months of my life in a long time.
Brings
Yeah.
a smile to my face here.
Oh, I know. I can see you smiling
It's
too.
cool. It's really
yeah.
cool.
Like I just walk in the aisle. I was an angry person. I was not a nice person. And I look back on that and some people think, oh, you know, how do you feel where you were? And I said, well, that's part of my journey. I was meant to do that. And I'm meant to be in the place exactly where I am now.
Yeah, I think like you've got great gratitude. Great gratitude as well. Like being able to look back and say, I was in a shit place and now I'm in the best place
Thank you.
I've ever been as well. And I brought it up to Gav a heap of times now. Is actually sometimes take a step back and think, if Gav was doing the numbers he was doing 5 years ago, he'd probably pat himself on the back, and so would us as well. So having gratitude.
Oh, 100%. I think if you were to take yourself from 2018 to what you are now, you'd be like, I'm so happy I made that move, and I'm so happy I've done the things I've done to get here. Would that be a fair?
Absolutely, definitely.
Your daughter probably raised a very, you raised it actually, sorry, but your daughter mentioned that she wasn't happy with the amount of work that you're doing on work.
Yep.
And that would have hit you pretty hard, no doubt.
It did. So I started the end of November, as I said, 2019. Her birthday is the end of November, and I still remember it so distinctly. We were going out for a birthday dinner, and I wasn't there.
Oh, wow.
It was literally 2 weeks into real estate, and I was late.
Wow.
And it just kept cascading from there. And now it's a case of, well, no, like I can still do my job. And like you mentioned before with Kyla, like that fear, I had that fear. So I still do a little bit to a certain extent, but not that fear that I had.
I think the one thing I've learned in like the last 12 months is you can get, and you're a great example of this, Gav, you can get to the highest of highs and the busiest of busiest, but you are never too busy. Like you can always make time for the right people. I can always make time for the right people because people say, oh, you're always busy. And like, if someone picked up the phone, even if it's a dinner, I'm always there. Like if you commit to something, we're old enough and mature enough to say to a client, hey, you know, I can't do tonight, I can do tomorrow, or you can make yourself available whenever. But that personal time is so important, and no one's money in your back pocket is more important than your mate, your mum, your family member, or whoever needs it to actually do it as well, because it makes you feel better on the inside also.
How did you then recover from that? And is your daughter still thinking the same thing? Like she's saying, Mum, you don't see me? Or like how did you recover from that then?
Not at all. I would say our relationship is the best it's ever been, especially the last 8 months. Yeah.
Do you live together?
No, she's getting married, mate. She's got her own kid.
How good's that?
That's good though.
It's just me and my dogs and my chooks.
Yeah. What kind of dogs do you have?
I've got a Staffy called Basil and an Aussie Bulldog called Esme.
Yeah. Are your chickens named?
Absolutely, they
It's
are.
chickens, chooks.
Chooks.
One's Zinger, the other one's KFC.
Yeah, dinner and breakfast.
Yeah.
Cool. What I want to ask this question because I feel like we don't go into like the mechanics of real estate with our guests lately. You know, it's always about, like with Tane, it was a bit personal as well, which was cool to go into. What sets Amanda apart to get a listing? She's sitting in a listing and Craig's the vendor and he just says, I've had Gav out and I've had Brent out. We're really happy with both of them. Well, what do you kind of do different that sets you apart in the lounge room, do you think?
I think obviously being a female, you have a different touch as well. So use that to your advantage. But everyone has every vendor has their personal wants and needs with what they want in an agent. So, and Gav would know this because we do come up against each other quite a lot.
Yeah, she beat me in the last one.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you. You beat me in 1-2 last week too, mate. So that's okay.
Oh, we're even now.
But you know, again, some people are like, yeah, we want to be with Gav because he's number one. Yeah, awesome, that's great. Or no, we want to be with you. Like we feel you really care and genuine. And but again, 2 years ago, Amanda was an asshole. Yeah, but she still listed properties.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And then you have like the different approach to be more personal, and you probably win more as well listings. I suppose.
I'm getting there. Obviously, it's been a bit of a roller coaster the last couple of years, but I finally feel that I'm getting everything back on track again now and getting back to where I was. But at the same time, like what you said, that personal time and that balance is so important to me now.
Yeah. Well, your numbers are good on realestate.com, so I think you're there, and whatever. What's the next step for you? What are you thinking?
Just keep going. Like
Yeah.
we've got a plan. The boys are unreal. Like we've got a plan set out exactly what we want to be, and it's a case of, okay, well, what do you want? What makes you happy? You know, this month, okay, well, you didn't get that, and it's all about what makes you happy, not what makes them happy. What makes you happy?
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of leaders go wrong, Gav. Whereas they set their goals for a person as opposed to letting them set their goals as well. But then you can have influence in that too.
Yeah, definitely. All right, last question from me. How, in this world where obviously saving for a deposit is super hard and trying to buy a first home is incredibly rough. Again, single mum, you've got a dependent. How the hell would you buy a house at the age of 40? How long do you have to save to get a deposit to buy a property?
Bloody years, mate.
And
then obviously I took an opportunity because I saw that not much was selling and anything like that. And
Okay, yeah.
it was like, if I don't get a house now, I'll never get one, with no intention that I'll be in real estate. Yeah.
That's actually so just years and years of hard work.
Yeah.
And that's probably something that really needs to resonate with some people who want the house straight away because they just woke up this morning like, I want a house. It takes a long time. There's a grind behind it. But if Amanda can do it, a single mum on a wage from a HR, like you're not going to make heaps of bank as a HR manager, then man, anyone can, right?
Yeah. And so I'm going to throw back to the start of the episode before we finish this up. The thing about, you said that you're an arsehole agent.
Was.
Yeah, sorry, was. Sorry.
Come on, man. Come on.
Do you reckon that is, you list 10, you sell 6 in a month, Amanda's happy? You list 0, you sell 1, Amanda's an arsehole?
What do you mean? Like, as in...
Like your mindset. So say you have a good month, bad month, or were you arsehole the whole time?
Just horrible the whole time.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's one saying, one day I hope I get there in my life. It's by Craig McRae, who is a Collingwood coach. You'll know that, Gav.
Fly.
Yeah. He says, in the locker room on a Monday, no one knows if there was no scoreboard on the weekend. No one would know if the team won or lost. And that is the best thing ever. Doesn't matter what you're doing, as long as you can kind of stay here with your happiness and stuff. Doesn't matter if you're winning or losing. Be mediocre the whole time. Be happy all the time. And I love that. I love that saying. So,
yeah. Like, I used to beat myself up constantly about losing a listing. Now
Yeah.
it's just exactly when you said Teflon before,
Yeah.
I giggled because that's what, move on next.
just be
Because
Teflon.
there'll be plenty more. There's plenty more out. And I think Gav said that to me one day as well. There's plenty of listings out there for everybody.
Oh, so many.
Yeah.
Honestly, look, we were in a great spot that you could, like I lost over 400 listings last year. It's okay because there's still another 600 plus out there.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much, and stick around because we've got a couple more guests that would love you to stick around and chat to as well. But thank you so much for joining us on the Real Estate Forum podcast.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Thanks,
No
Amanda.
worries.
Welcome back. We've got Jade, as we have every week. And I love Jade. She's always on time, and she's never in Adelaide or anywhere else. So thanks, Jade, for that. And one interest rate rise since we spoke to you last time. What's that doing to your business? Is your phone blowing up? Tell me more.
This interest rate rise has been a little bit different, I think, because there's a lot bigger media news around it with what's going on overseas, the war in the Middle East and stuff like that. So I think, yes, my phone's blowing up, but it's more so in a way of people being uncertain at the moment. So I think this recent rate rise, it's definitely impactful, but not in the standard, what's my rate going up to, how much my repayments going to be. As we've said in the past, a lot of people didn't reduce their repayments after the rate increases last year and the year before. So for a lot, it actually hasn't impacted cash flow yet anyway, but it's more so the unknown of what's going to happen.
Yeah, I believe it was the rate increase now on $1.2 million was $600 a month. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not too much if you've got a loan of 1.2.
Except that it's still going up.
Yeah, true.
This isn't the end of it, is it?
Yeah, and there were rumours, I guess you could say, when on Tuesday I had spoken to a couple of contacts who had mentioned there was whispers that it might have been a 0.5% rate rise, which luckily it wasn't. However, I think that gives a pretty sure vote that it's going to go up again, likely in May.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Now, I've got a question about private lending. I'm just been looking at this the last couple of weeks. Brent's going to get bored out of his mind.
No.
doing this, so
I'm going to interrupt you. I have to go because
you
I've got
can
to
go.
open for inspection. But thanks so much for jumping
Good
on.
luck on your open.
And lovely to speak to you. I'll
Message
see
me
you
how
next
many you
week.
get.
I will. See ya.
So yeah, sorry, Jade.
Thanks for joining us, Brent.
Thanks for coming on the podcast, Brent. That's really
Yeah.
good.
See ya.
Do you have private lenders on your books?
Yes.
Would you? How long have you been doing mortgage brokering for?
Gosh, I feel like it's been 12 years for the last 3 years. So yeah, I'm probably getting to like 14, 15 years.
It's like my age. I'm just going to say I'm 27. I've been 27 for the last 11 years.
Yeah.
Would you have said that there's a rise in the amount of lending that's done privately and away from the standard banks?
Not in, when we say private lender, I am also thinking of banks that are like a solution lender that the loan is usually for say
like
12 months and that's for maybe
Liberty or
development or
Bluestone.
no, so Bluestone, they're more so like your non-conforming
Yeah.
third tier lenders. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, so what I'm getting, it's probably more in the commercial space than anything. I think the internet's not that great.
Yeah, so I think there is a lot more lending in that space because a lot of people are looking for a solution, and especially for your self-employed clients or people who just want to boost their borrowing capacity, especially for investors, that is a solution because they look at it as the interest is tax deductible. Even though the interest rate is slightly higher, the pay that they're going to get through capital growth in the market of purchasing that investment property outweighs the cost of a slightly higher interest rate.
Yeah, definitely. All I've been doing, so I'm going to throw something at you. 2009, private lending was like 4%, especially in the commercial space. It's now 16%. And I'm just looking at some of the deals that are happening, probably more in the US, and some real shady stuff going on. And I'm just concerned about the amount of private lending options there are because there's no regulation around private lending. Well, not as much as there is around your major banks. And I'm looking at these, obviously APRA came in with the regulations 09 and basically said, all the shit you've been doing, the loans you've been lending, like you can't be doing that. And as a mortgage broker, you didn't even need to have registration. You could just, it was a wild, wild west. You could just sign anyone up. And a lot of these deals that are shifting to the private lending, we're just looking at like it's the same damn thing that's happening from 08, but in the private lending space rather than the big banks. And I'm just concerned, and I want to find out from your opinion, Jade, are you seeing a lot more deals going through those private lenders that aren't the conforming lenders, traditional conforming lenders?
Yeah, so we don't call them private banks, but yes, the third tier, maybe not regulated lenders, yes, we do see some deals going through. As I mentioned, it's more so for like investors that they might be maxed out through your normal streams. However, they do still need to meet certain requirements. You know what I mean? It's not like back in the days where it was, here's a letter, tick of approval. They still need to provide, whether it be, BAS statements, accountants' letters and stuff like that. So there is still a level of due diligence done. We have to, as brokers, we have a certain compliance level that we need to meet no matter what lender we take the deal to. But there is also still a process that the bank would follow to make sure that that customer can meet the repayments of responsible lending.
So I'll use me as an example, right? I wanted to buy this house in Beaconsfield last year, and I went to 2 brokers and 4 banks direct, and they all said, no way, get stuff. The house I wanted to buy was $2.4 million. And they said, no way, it's not happening. And then went to this other bank, which I'd never heard of before. Like it is one of those non-traditional, non-conforming ones. And after a bit of like shady paperwork, it got through. And like I'm looking at it going, there is absolutely no way that I should have been given this this amount of money to buy this house. No way.
Yeah, interesting.
And I'm like, would that have happened? There's absolutely no way I would have got through it with a regular bank. And so I start thinking to myself, what other deals are getting through? And had I not had my best year in real estate that I've just had in the last 12 months, my partner fell pregnant shortly after we moved into the house. She's not working. There is no way I'd be able to afford this property. And like, you go, well, should the bank have lended me that? Probably not. And I don't know, like just some of the stuff that's coming out of the States too. I'm just a little concerned that like, maybe our borrowing practices aren't as stringent as what we thought.
For self-employed clients, possibly yes.
Yeah.
If you're self-employed, there's, how do I say this? If you're self-employed, you have more options, right, for lending, because we know that we make a lot of deductions when it comes to our tax returns and stuff like that. So there's some self-employed applicants that go down the way of low doc applications, and if they have an accountant that will sign off on anything, then
yeah,
but I guess that also, the bank has their procedure and policy that they follow, but then it does come down to, I guess, if you're providing that information,
100%. If you're accountant,
due diligence on yourself as well.
If the accountant's signing off on letters that says, yep, they can support this loan, no worries, then all of a sudden the bank's going, cool, well, that's all I needed to see, tick, done.
Yeah.
And that is all you need is a signature from a slightly erratic, slightly fraudulent, slightly misconceived accountant, and then you've got that $2.4 million house.
Yeah, and the low doc space, to be perfectly honest, I don't do a whole lot in the low doc space anyway.
That's messy.
Because they're not even just messy, but like your mainstream lenders have a lot of like new policies and solutions for self-employed clients that do make it that little bit easier as well. So there isn't as much of a need for it, not in my business anyway. But yeah, it can be the Wild West.
Yeah. There was an article in the Australian Financial Review about it a couple of days ago, and it just, I don't know. I just got this theory that we could be in a bit of trouble. What is your thoughts on what's going to happen with the market? Obviously, we were talking this time last year, no, even 6 months ago, like great interest rates are coming down. The consensus was there was going to be 3 interest rate cuts in 2026. So that's crystal balling is very hard. But what are you making of this market? Greggy Bryden thinks there's going to be more pain before there is a bright side. What's your take on all?
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's not even just going to be from a borrowing capacity perspective. I think there's going to be a lot of fear. People are feeling the pain around, petrol prices are going through the roof, and it is all we are hearing about when we turn on the TV. The cost of living, like in the supermarket. I went to the supermarket, a bag of dishwasher tablets, $75. The cost of groceries, people are struggling. So I think that in a time like this, when there's so much uncertainty and we're being told, to, I guess, brace ourselves, a lot of people just don't want to make a big decision in general, right? Mm-hmm. They're like, I've got all the stress I can possibly handle right now, and I'm just going to sit with that. So I think that is going to be a big reason why we may see things quiet down for a little bit. However, look at COVID times. I remember when we first went into lockdown, and I posted a video on my Facebook to my clients, and I personally thought, this is going to be the end of my business. No one's going to buy, and I'm going to go broke, basically. And as we know, COVID, we saw a huge surge in the property prices, and a lot of us had the best years in business that we'd had in a long time. So yeah, I just don't know.
It is fascinating. The ANZ Consumer Confidence Index came out a couple of days ago, and it's the lowest it's been since the start of the pandemic, which is quite telling. And it's what you're saying about right now. People are just fearful of making a decision. And to be honest, the interest rate rises, as Brent keeps telling me, it's not even that much, 0.25 here and 0.25 there. It's the confidence that deteriorates the public sentiment. That's what really then hampers the market. It's not so much the actual 0.25% increase, it's the confidence around that or lack thereof that has a lasting impact. So it was really interesting to see the ANZ index come out and said that consumer confidence is actually at the lowest it's been in 5 years.
I think the thing is, and it is easy to say, it's only a couple of $100 a week, or it's only $50 a week. But the thing is, it's $50 a week on the mortgage. It's, if you've got 2 cars in a household, it might be $50 to $60 per car for the petrol. The groceries are more expensive, all these little things. And the average household is probably earning 120 grand a year combined with 2 kids. There's not many, just $50 left over in the budget for them to spend. So, and I think the thing that makes it hard is I think the statistics are 33% of people have a mortgage. The other 33% are unencumbered, and then the rest rent.
Yeah, I think it's just a little bit higher on the ones that are mortgaged, but very similar stats.
You're the stats man.
Yeah.
I'm a stats man.
But that shows us that, the majority don't have a mortgage. So it's like, okay, it's hard.
Cool. Jade, thank you so much.
Hours.
Again, I could as well. I'm starting to dig into conspiracy theories now. We actually should have maybe next week we'll have what's your craziest conspiracy theory? That could be a bit of fun.
And we can wear tin hats.
We can wear tinfoil hats. Yes, I love that. I'm going to bring in a picture of September 11. Have the Twin Towers up here or something in a plane. It was Al-Qaeda, I swear. Thank you so much for joining us once again, Jade. You've been fantastic. And good luck with the rebrand. We'll probably chat about that a bit more next week.
Cool, thank you.
Awesome. All right, mate.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Bye.
So that's Jade, as she always is, joining us on the Real Estate Forum podcast. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. As always, I really appreciate you staying to this lot. I mean, it's been going for a bit over an hour now, so I really appreciate you sticking around. I think next week we'll go into conspiracy theories. Amanda, thank you for joining as well.
Thanks for having me.
Did you get anything out of it?
I did, heaps.
I actually got quite a bit out of your talk. I was really impressed. And thank you so much for being so honest as well.
Oh, thank you.
In terms of Craig, thank you very much. Craig, Brent, good luck at the inspection that he's meant to be at in 9 minutes. Join us next week. We've got a really cool guest coming on all the way from the corporate world at Harcourt. It's going to find out what's going on in that kind of sector. And if you want a decent overview of what's happening in real estate generally, this guy's coming on next week is all over it. I'm not going to divulge his name, but because there's a chance he still might pull out. But if he doesn't, you got to be there next week to enjoy it, because it's going to be one hell of a segment. Until then, guys, enjoy your week. Stay safe. Don't drive petrol cars. See you next week.